What's going on, guys? So in this video, I'm going to talk about how we are able to get higher quality, higher intent leads using Facebook and Instagram ads using the instant forms. This applies to any home service business or any service business if you operate in a local market. And we're going to do all of this by using the native platform within Ads Manager. So let's dive right into it, guys. So for this specific campaign, we're running it at 150 per day. We're always going to set it at campaign budget. That's what we find the best success with. We're going to optimize for leads, and that's pretty much it for the campaign setup. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll down into the ad set here, and we like to set the radius of, we kind of test around some different things. We like to test the broader area that is Albuquerque, where this client is, as well as some higher and zip codes within this area, as well as excluding some zip codes that just may not make sense. And so, yeah, that's kind of the basic setup for that. And then last thing that we like to do is set the actual placements on the ads. And so as you can see, only 9 placements are included within this ad campaign. Just because Meta, they try and get you to spend more money on placements that don't really move the needle, don't actually get you higher intent leads, or they just get you visibility, but that's not what we're going for. We're going for actual revenue for this client, right? And so with that, we want to go on the most impactful places where this ad can be seen, which is, the Facebook feed, the profile, Instagram feed, that sort of thing, stories, always taking off in-stream ads for reels, search results, that type of thing, And so, yeah, that's to make sure that you're getting the biggest return off that visibility, because this is where people are most active, right? And so the next thing is we're actually going to hop into one of the ads here. So you can see like this is the creative that we're running, and let's see, pretty basic copy in terms of the primary text and headline, but this is where the magic really does happen. And this is in the lead form itself. And so what we've been testing out, because initially we were running this campaign for this client and they were getting tons and tons and tons of leads, and a handful of them were good, but honestly, most of them just didn't pick up the phone, or they were just confused, or, the normal problems that a lot of people have when running Facebook ads. But whenever we updated this lead form, the client was getting a higher quality lead. People were picking up the phone and they actually knew who it was. They were scheduling estimates. And so, this actually results in a higher quality lead who actually are expecting your phone call. And so what we ask here is, what's wrong with your roof? It's leaking. And then the last thing here is, are you a homeowner? And then if somebody selects, we do conditional logic on this one. So if somebody selects no, I'm actually just going to go into it just so you guys can see. So from the jump, we are asking for higher intent, and we are requiring leads to verify their phone number to submit the lead form. Right? Let's make sure that the leads are actually, that this is their actual phone number. I always turn off flexible form delivery. It doesn't really feel like it does make any difference by having it on. But yeah, we have people, they select their info, the questions here. Are you a homeowner? If the answer is yes, it moves them on to a page where they can fill out their information. However, if they select no, I rent, because, and they have no authority to get a new roof, then it kicks them out and it just says like, you're not a good fit for this offer. And then at the very end here, text verification goes out. They need to verify their phone number. Once that phone number is verified, it's going to submit the privacy policy, and then we direct them to call the client directly. Now, this is where I would change things for this client, because what we're finding a lot of success with is we are having our clients actually set up a Calendly, and we are having them actually set up a link right here where the leads can book just a 15-minute consultation call with you. And that makes a world of difference. We started implementing that for our own agency, and it has been a game changer. People are actually booking a time that works for them, and it actually works for both of us. Just as long as you're not booking these phone calls too far in advance, a rule of thumb that we have is like, if clients or leads, should I say, are booking a phone call 2 to 3 days, within 2 to 3 days, that's like an ideal window. But anything after that 2 to 3 day window is just that lead can kind of go cold from there, even if they do book the call. So we try and set some parameters on when they can and can't book their phone call. It is just a 15-minute call. It's just a great opportunity for the lead to get to know the prospect's problems and how they can help out, and so forth and so on. And so, yeah, but yeah, this is how we have it set up. And then whenever somebody submits their information, the client they get a text message and email. So we could actually even look into that. Okay, so here we are. We're in this client's Go High level, and right here we can say the page, and then we say the lead form. And then from here, this is whenever we have an email that goes out to the client that says like, hey, here's your new lead. And we don't stop there. We actually send the clients a text message with their new lead. And so, whenever a new lead is triggered, they fill out the information to make the follow-up process as simple as possible for you if you own a home service business, or if you run an agency and you're doing this for your clients. The easiest way to have them get in contact with their leads is to text them the lead, because oftentimes, these emails that we send out could either get sent to spam, and most people are just active via text message. And so if you text over the lead to your client or to yourself, that allows you to call up the lead as soon as possible directly. Gives you an opportunity to text them through that. And, all that stuff is huge. So to recap what this all looks like to get higher intent leads from Meta, first thing is always first. You got to make sure you have a solid ad creative that you're working with. But once you have a solid creative, we do need to filter down into higher quality leads. And we do that by having a lead form that is filtering out the good leads from leads that are just going to do nothing, right? Tire kickers. I know a lot of people use like landing pages and that sort of thing. I believe a lead form is a good starting place where you could get some real hard, concrete data as far as what questions actually drive a good lead versus what questions are just like meaningless friction in the funnel. And so once you have a dialed in form of this, then you can kind of move on to a more advanced landing page. But for the sake of this, just get things up and running and get some quick wins and quick data. Put together a lead form, get some basic questions, disqualify people, make sure that you are verifying their phone number, and then from there, book them to a Calendly page where they can book a call with you directly. So hope that helped, guys. If there's any questions, put them in the comments. I'll be answering any and all questions, comments, concerns, and yeah, peace out.